As you listen to President Obama reiterate his plan for a new consumer financial protection agency, try to imagine who would be his most meaningful opponent as he tries to get it done. The president had gone to Wall Street last week on the anniversary of the collapse of Lehman Brothers and proposed new rules to protect consumers and a new agency to enforce the rules. Well, here after that was his weekly address in which he said again what he plans to do. Now remember, as you hear this, try to imagine who would be opposing this. There will be a quiz.
I have called on Congress to put in place a series of tough, common-sense rules of the road that will protect consumers from abuse, let markets function fairly and freely, and help prevent a crisis like this from ever happening again. Central to these reforms is a new consumer financial protection agency. We need clear rules, clearly enforced, and that's what this agency will do.
The proposal here is akin to an FDA for financial services. The FDA makes sure that nobody bottles antifreeze and sells it as baby formula, right? Baby formula is regulated so as to protect babies and parents. In that spirit, banks and lenders should be prevented from bottling proverbial financial antifreeze and calling it a mortgage. So now for the quiz. Who's the active opposition to the president's plan to stop banks from gouging consumers? If you said Wall Street, you definitely do not fail, but you're not quite there. If you said Republicans, you have to go back and count seats in the House and the Senate. It's not really them. The answer is actually Democrats, specifically blue dog Democrats, conservadems, the same crowd that's holding up health care reform right now. Freshman Democratic Congressman Walt Minnick of Idaho, a member of the Blue Dog Coalition, says he'll propose an alternative to the president's plan to re-regulate Wall Street. And Mr. Minnick's still unfinished bill would eliminate the president's proposed Consumer Financial Protection Agency. Congressman Minnick reportedly prefers an advisory committee of existing consumer agencies that will have the power of suggestion, not actually any power of enforcement. You know who thinks that stinks? Congressman Barney Frank, on whose committee Walt Minnick sits. Mr. Frank told the Huffington Post tonight that Mr. Minnick should withdraw what he said about opposing the Consumer Financial Protection Agency. Number one, ouch, getting smacked down by Barney Frank hurts, particularly when you are a freshman congressman. Number two, with guys like this, who needs Republicans, right? Joining us now is a man who was just named to be the head of the nation's largest federation of unions, the AFL-CIO, Richard Trumka. Mr. Trumka, congratulations. Thanks for joining us here tonight.
Thank you, and thanks for having me on, Rachel. I appreciate it very much.
In Washington right now, it's not just Republicans versus Democrats. It's a battle of liberals versus conservatives within the Democratic Party on a lot of the most important policy issues. How does labor today factor into that?
Well, we're going to try to keep them honest. We're going to try to make them live up to their promises about health care. We're going to try to make them re-regulate the financial economy and give us a consumer protection agency that isn't a hobby, as it is right now, to 4 other agencies, but actually protects consumers. Today, Rachel, I talked to a woman in Atlanta, and she was making $1,162 a month on a fixed salary, and they gave her a $900 a month mortgage. That type of predatory lending should have been picked up by any of those agencies. It wasn't. What we're going to do is make sure that they live by that. We'll educate our members. We'll mobilize our members. And I think our members will hold them accountable on Election Day.
When labor is active on big contentious policy issues like on health care, like this regulation is going to be, you get denounced from the right as bullies. You get denounced. The word goon always arises. What do you think about the way that union members have been caricatured by the right?
Well, it's totally unfair. They can't answer us with on the objects or the issue itself, so they try to minimize us or demonize us. And we don't care about that, what they say. We know that what we're doing is right. We know that standing up for health care with a public option that'll break the stranglehold of insurance companies, we know that's the right thing to do. They can call us whatever they want. It's not going to deter us. And maybe it has in the past, but it won't now. This re-regulation of the economy, we know that Wall Street hasn't learned its lesson. We know that unless we re-regulate them, the same thing will occur again and again and again and again. So we're going to push for that regulation, regardless of what they say.
When I think about right now the power of labor, the power of really the middle class, the hopes for the future of the middle class in the United States, I think about the proportion of the workforce that is unionized. And over the course of my lifetime, I was born in 1973, that proportion has dropped steadily and dropped by a lot. What are the prospects for really rebuilding restructuring the American economy, honestly, in a way that has a lot of union jobs in it?
Well, first of all, there's a couple of things. The laws are stacked against workers. I mean, over 30,000 workers a year get fired illegally for trying to form a union. We get intimidated and harassed. There's an act called the Employee Free Choice Act that we are behind, and we will get passed before the end of the year. It'll allow workers to form a union and get a better share. And here's the thing, Rachel. It's necessary, if we're going to build a sound economy, over the last 30 years, because workers' wages have stagnated, we've had to borrow our way into the middle class. And that doesn't work. We'll bring a union to people. They'll be able to bargain their way into the middle class, get more money, spend more money rather than borrowing it, and create an economy that really does work for everybody.
And are you going to be able to count on conservative Democrats to support you on the Employee Free Choice Act?
Well, here's what I think. I think we'll have plenty of votes to get it passed in the House. I think we'll have enough votes to get it by in the Senate. And I think everybody's on board on all that because they know that the system really is broken. It needs to be changed. There needs to be a counterbalance to the power of corporations and the power of Wall Street. And the only way to do that is to empower workers.
All right, you're on the record. Plenty in the House and enough in the Senate. Richard Trumka, new president of the AFL-CIO. Congratulations to you again. It's good to see you.
Thanks, Rachel.
Good luck
Thanks for having me on.